Music matters. Wow, I fully voice cracked when I said that. Sept, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Chilling.
Thanks for doing this, y'all. Appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. Been a fan of your guys' stuff for a while, so very, very excited to have you on the show.
Happy to be on the show, man. You are a legend yourself.
Thank you, man.
These shows that we've played here, always off the chain.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, incredibly excited to have you guys for Community Service Fest on August 2nd. You were definitely one of the first bands I think we thought of for it because you're also like from that area. Well, I guess so you're from Corona, Riverside area, right? Riverside County.
Yeah, around there.
The Inland Empire.
Yeah, I was gonna say is
partially.
Is Pomona the IE? Is that considered that? Because in my head they're very comparable. Is that like not the IE? What's the IE geography?
I think it's technically the IE, but
okay.
Like, I have like this whole.
It's LA, right? It's LA and IE.
I think technically, because I was looking, I think it's the last city in LA County. Like as eastern you go, I think so.
For me, I'm crazy. I think there needs to be a whole nother county up there. Where, where Pomona, Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario, and like Rialto and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know. It feels like a separate thing, and it needs its own.
You guys have a song about this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like when I first moved here. To be honest with you, I didn't know the IE existed. Like I didn't like I knew of Pomona, but I didn't know of anything eastbound of that.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in that area? Do you guys feel like you had like a big musical community around you out there? I mean, because I know a good amount of bands from out there now, but was it different when you were growing up? Did you feel like there were some bands locally that you could look to when you were growing up, or was that kind of just more of a recent thing?
The only bands I could think of off Dome were like Archero and the High Cribs.
Well, what about like when you were like really young? Like when I was in high school, there was a band called Misspoken that was really, really good.
Were they from? We said IE. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm thinking of Moreno Valley specifically. Yeah. No, they were.
Because I went to school with a couple of them, so I'm pretty sure they.
Yeah. No, there wasn't like the craziest of like a scene down here, and then there was like a little while where like the indie like surf like punk scene got like pretty popping in there, and then everybody kind of grew up a little and changed to hardcore, and now all the indie shit is like in LA and like Pomona and all that.
Everybody grew up a little and switched to hardcore.
Oh my god, I forgot to check. Am I allowed to curse on this?
You're good.
Okay, cool.
Say whatever you'd like. No, that's actually funny that you say that. I feel like every single city, no matter what, always keeps a hardcore scene. Like even when you're right, because I think sometimes kids will grow up and then like get angry and then they start making hardcore. But I feel like every single city forever has a hardcore scene.
Yeah.
So wait, so you said you were in high school before them. Are you guys different in age?
Yeah, Ben's my little cousin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm 25, and how old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And how old are you?
I met them post. I was in a different band before I met them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're like So I'm from Orange County. I need to say my piece.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna try and interject with. I was like, we're from the IE. He's Orange County.
But they adopted me. So like I will say that I thank you guys. It was hard for me to get into some bands, so it was really thank you.
How did you guys originally meet if you were from Orange County?
So okay. All right. So I'm in another band called Death Coast, and we were playing.
Oh, I didn't know you were in Death Coast.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, we were playing in Arizona one day, and I had been listening to Sept before, like on my Spotify for like a month or so, and I was like, man, it kind of sounds like pop punk to me, but I didn't know that they didn't know that even.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, like I wanted to go, and I was like, I'm gonna go. So I drove from Arizona from tour, and I was like, I'm gonna stop at the park. They were playing at some park. And it's this is funny because I've had a lot of experiences where like which is kind of funny, like say you cover a song, like say you're covering a song and then another band's covering the song, they're usually like they get peeved, right? And like
it's like a beef thing.
And like I was there and they were like, we saw that you guys are covering a Fiddler song. And you're like, hey, we're covering a Fiddler song. And then I was just like, damn, like we have cool music taste. Like I immediately was like, I like them.
That's a crazy thing to get mad at in LA. It's like everybody's covering a Fiddler song.
Yeah. If anything, they should get mad at us. We covered that song crappily. Whatever, we're kicking it. And I'm waiting there and I'm like totally like, how do I talk to them? So I wait and then I meet Matt. and Super just hit it off. I was like, oh, cool. And then I go up to Ben and I was like, hey, like, are you in Sept? And he looks me straight in the eyes and goes like, no. And he leaves. And I was left? He just left. But he was a lot younger then, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not like, I'm gonna just whatever. And then I go to him and I was like, hey, and he's like, yeah, that's my cousin. I was like, okay. A few weeks later, that another show, and then and we met at another show, right? And then
we played in, was it Chubb's backyard?
Oh yeah.
And that's when it kind of felt like our relationship kind of started like really blossoming, because
like
we were
becoming
like,
friends.
We were playing shows, and it was like we were playing with bands that were harder than us because we were still like a soft band.
Sure.
And then like the crowd just didn't like us sometimes. And then I swear it was like the first show we played with Death Coast and like their lineup, and it was like, wow, like all these people like us, and like I think we were just playing in the wrong.
We
scene.
found like our good little group. Little thing. We mended friendships with bands, and then
Straight
joined in arms.
I think it's underrated how difficult that is as a starting band, you know, to really like find your scene of artists that you can play on bills with and stuff, and figure out where you fit in. Because I think I've talked to a lot of bands that like make, you know, things in like any extended version of indie, right? Whether it's like heavier or soft or whatever. But I've talked to a lot of bands that just don't make hardcore, and like it seems that there's so much hardcore everywhere that a lot of those bands end up just falling on those bills in the early days because they don't know who else to play with. I feel that way about Scrams and shoegaze right now too, but I think that's cooler because that's like not as heavy sometimes as hardcore. But it's interesting to kind of like try to find your clique and like your group of people and your community. Was that when you guys met and like you guys started playing with Death Coast? Like, do you feel like that was kind of around the time you actually found like bands that you could play on bills with in the IE?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, 100%. Yeah, that was the deal. And like at the time, like we were like a little more like surf based, so we kind of meshed well together, and so like our fans became their fans, and their fans became our fans, and we shared.
Which is sick. I mean, that's always how it happens.
Cool, yeah.
Did you wait? So if you're 20 now, and you guys have been putting out music since 2020, how old were you when you were 15 years old when you guys started putting out music?
Yeah. I was 15 when we finished that record. I started writing it at 14, but
you were writing the songs at 14?
Yeah. We played.
That's crazy.
We played our first show. We played our first show, I think, a week after I turned 15.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did you? Or go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say we threw it in his backyard. Was our first show, and the way we got all the neighbors to sign off on it was that we said it was for his birthday party, and we went door to door. And we're like, Ben's having his 15th birthday.
He really wants to be a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sick. Wow. Okay. That's so interesting to me that you were 15 when you started writing the songs. Do you think compelled you to start writing songs that young of an age? Was it just getting things out? Were you looking to other bands? Like, what was it in the early days where you were like, damn, this is like what I want to do?
It was like, it all started because like when I was like 12 or so, like my cousin, our other cousin, and I and Matthew would drive around in like his Kia Sportage because he just got his license and stuff, and he was like 16. But he would play a lot of this cool music like fiddler and waves and stuff in the car, and I was like, oh man, this is like super cool. Because all I'd ever really listened to was stuff like Green Day or you know, like regular 2000s like 90s pop punk stuff, but this was like more modern scene, like surf garage rock like type of thing, and I was like, oh, this is super cool. And after that, I already knew how to play the ukulele, but I was like, fuck it, I want to learn to play the guitar. And then I just always kind of like started trying to write songs, and slowly I got a little bit better at it, and then by the time that we got around, or that I was around like 14, I was like, okay, I think I can actually like put something together
Yeah.
and it be like decent enough to put out and show to people and whatnot.
Yeah, interesting. That's really cool. Being that young when you started playing shows, I imagine like sometimes the other bands on the bill probably were a little shocked by your age, which but I think that's a really cool thing. I don't know. Do you feel like in the early days when you were playing shows and probably always being like the youngest person on the bill and stuff, do you feel like that made a lot of other bands like it impressed them, or they looked at it differently? Like how do you feel like the perception was from other people when they realized how young you were? Because that's so sick to me, dude.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how other people felt about it. I just know that like a lot of the time, like whenever I would tell somebody or somebody would ask like how old I was, they'd always be surprised because they thought I was older. But yeah, no, I mean I was just out here doing my thing.
Did you feel like intimidated at that age to go up on stage and stuff because you were like on the younger side? Because I don't know, it's just so cool to me.
It was like a little nerve wracking, but for some reason for me personally, it's a lot easier to like play in like front of a group of people versus like one or two people, because then it's like I'm only focused on one or two reactions. But when it's a group of multiple people, then like you know, I'm not singled out on one. And even at our first show, I was like, oh, I gotta do something cool, so I like jumped off the stage and started like playing the guitar in the crowd and stuff, because I was like, I need to do something. Yeah, no, I think I was pretty prepared for it. I had a few times like already playing on like stages and stuff, just at like family reunions and events and stuff, like doing whatever. So yeah,
that's really cool. That or well, not cool, but like I understand what you mean when you say that it's easier to play to a bigger crowd than it is just like a small, modest crowd. Because you're right, like people just at a certain point become like a face in the crowd when it's a lot more folks, but when it's just a couple people, you can see like the individualized reactions of everybody, and you're hyper fixating and stuff. Would you guys? I'm curious too. So being from the IE and playing a lot out there, I'm sure when you started playing in LA. Was it a lot different than a lot of the shows you were playing in the IE? Like, did the two markets feel very different to you guys, or did it kind of feel seamless? And then also, like, when you did start playing bigger shows in LA and stuff, how did you begin to start getting comfortable in front of people? Was there a lot of growing pains there, or did you feel like it always came naturally?
It was before Misa joined the band, like our stage presence would kind of be based off of like the crowd's energy, and so like if it felt like they weren't feeling it, then we'd be like a little more reserved and kind of nervous and stuff. But when Misa joined the band, he's like, nah bro, we gotta take it to another level, and he's like you can't like react to how the people are reacting. The people need to react to how to how you're doing up there, because that's what brings the energy from them, is the energy that you're giving them, type of thing. So yeah, when we went to like LA and like other scenes and stuff, it was definitely like a little like it was a little hard to like really put yourself like all the way out there, like truly open and whatnot. But I think with time it got easier. Yeah.
And I think Misa had like a good thing too. Like even from like outside, when he was still in Death Coast, he was still like kind of like giving us advice and stuff on what to do. And I remember him, one of the many times we probably complained to him that we were like, oh man, like they just don't like us over there. And he was like, well, you guys are used to being like popular in your area, like big fish, small pond. And he's like, now you're in an area with all these great bands. And it's like, well, what makes you any, you know, why should they care about you? Yeah,
I was talking to a band about this literally yesterday, is that you should always be trying to like be the smallest fish in a big pond. And if you ever find yourself in a spot where like you are the biggest fish in a small pond, it's kind of time to move on. You know, exactly. You got to always be like searching for new and more difficult things to be at. And I think you should always be chasing things that scare you as well. Like I feel like if playing in the LA market or whatever that scared you in the early days, I think it's really important that you went after that and chased that and got to a place where that was comfortable, you know?
Agreed.
Was your experience different in Death Coast, Misa? Like were you like beginning, because I'm sure you had a lot of performing experience prior, so when you came into Sept, were you already a bit more comfortable on stage?
I had been doing it for a while. I was in like a punk band when I first started, just like everybody. I mean, you're like, no excuse to do stuff, but after a while I would play and you get so comfortable playing to like no one,
Yeah.
But it's like that I was like, oh, well, I would do one fan. Because with Death Coast, it was like I had to really like earn it.
Sure.
And then I would go see Sept, and I was like, man, these people like love you. Or like my first experience was like, you'd see someone and be like, hey, man, that was really cool. Or they'd be like, oh, no, hey, this other time, they played better this time. And then for me, when I joined them, I just saw a lot of potential. And I would talk to Matt and like, man, I just like their look. And then I'd be like, all right, like people are, like they could be anywhere else, you know? It's like, and they're paying money, and some people don't got money. And if they're going to spend like the last $12 they have on you, you gotta like, you know, buck up and like put in some work. Cause if you want to make that ticket 12 to 15 and you want to give something for them, they're going to go tell their friends. And if they come, they're going to be like, oh, look, he's going to do this thing. And I want to be like it's just that you got to want it. You got to want, especially in LA, as you know, you've interviewed badass bands.
Thank you.
So like, you're kind of like, hey, at a certain point, everybody looks cool. Everybody sounds good. Everybody's cool. So like, what separates you? And what do you want that's going to matter to you now that you're going to be later? Like we're here. We're in LA. Some people, they drive from Texas. They come all the way from the Midwest just to get here. And if we're already here, we got to take advantage. It's sometimes it's not on the cards, but if you have it in your deck, take a shot at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, dude. I totally agree. I think there's a lot of humility in that realization too. Like, I think you really have to acknowledge, like, damn, like these people are coming to see us, like in a way, and I don't mean this like a personal level, but like in a way, you do kind of owe them something. Like they're paying to see you. Like you really, I think, have to honor that and like respect that and like realize like they're here to see us, like us specifically. That's a really important and sacred relationship, and I think that the mindset that you just laid out is really important. Like I think honoring that and making sure that you're always in a place where like you're trying to do as best as you can every single night, like that's really important.
Absolutely.
The moment, like the show we did with you guys with Cherry Domingo, there's this moment that like my friend filmed that always lays in my head. It's, I'm trying to think, what song was it? I think it was Boy Toy, and there's like on the post chorus part, like there's that like build up and drop, and you guys had everybody like get down and then jump up. That's a moment that like really, really lives in my head, and I feel like that there's the energy that was brought there was amazing. Do you guys, so you talked about some of those, you good? You talked about some of those first shows being a bit more sparse in terms of the people there. How did you, or when did you first kind of see that changing? Like when did you first kind of see people becoming Sept fans, shows getting bigger, and then people like beginning to come out? Do you remember how that felt when it first happened, and when did it first happen?
I have one right off the top, Ben, if I can. Okay. We played our first show ever at a venue was at the Haven in Pomona, and we love the Haven. But our first show there was pretty not great for us, and we were playing 2 shows that day. But I really liked, you know, they came up to us afterwards and they were like, hey, we really like you. We want you here again. Like, sorry, today was kind of, you know, meh.
The venue did?
Yes.
That's really cool.
It felt really cool. And they've always been great to us. And, we played a backyard show right after that. We left that and went there. And it was like we parked our car out front and we could hear people being like, Sept, 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 Sept. And we were like, oh my gosh, like we're backyard famous. Like this is so cool.
Backyard famous.
Like I think that's the first time we got people to do a wall of death.
Damn, that's awesome.
And
Backyard famous.
It was
the wall of Sept,
super like I like then and there I was like, oh, maybe we're actually doing something. Like this is cool.
Yeah.
Damn, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just and then from going from there, from the backyard scene, and then slowly, because since the Haven helped us out originally, we went back and played there a few times. They were the first venue that really kind of like gave us like a shot, like outside of like the backyard scene and like the bar scene and whatnot. And so that's kind of how like we started getting a foot in Pomona, because it started there at the Haven, and the next thing you know, we were on Viva, and we did the Glass House with Pangea.
I didn't get to that.
And the
That's
Tijuana
awesome.
Panthers.
And the Tijuana Panthers.
They were so sweet. They were so sweet to us.
Yeah, but it was just really cool to like, especially now looking back and just like looking at all the time and the work that's been put in, like how the seed is really grown, and you know, it's just really cool to do what we love and do it in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah. Backyard famous is a really cool way to put it. I think I know a lot of bands that first were backyard famous before, and I actually think it's so interesting that phrase and that relationship, right? Like the backyard famous thing, that only exists in like a couple genres of music. And I think it's so special. I think like just the feeling of a band having a ton of momentum locally and within a very specific fan base before they have it online or in terms of like virality, but that whole exchange of being backyard famous where like it's only experience, like you can only experience this like live in like a shitty dive bar or like a shitty backyard
straight up.
or like a small event. There's something so special about that, bro. Like your guys' music really feels like it fits that world to me. Do you it's cool how you describe the Haven kind of giving you guys a shot, because I think like a lot of people who find some resemblance of success in the music industry, like obviously the Haven's a very established venue. I think folks like that sometimes don't even realize like the impact of their words when they're talking to younger musicians. Like I think sometimes they don't even realize like them going up to you and saying like, oh, like we really like you guys, we want you back. That goes so far. Like it's just somebody believing in you in the early days, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys feel like in the early days, like your peers and the people around you and stuff, were there some early people who like were a good support system for you guys and
100%.
were really riding for you in the beginning?
Like just right off the bat, like when we were nobody, like I mean we're still not anybody, but you know, pre-backyard famous. We had like,
could you move the mic up a tiny bit?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
Thanks, bro. You're good.
The slums have always been great to us. Dead Radio was really great. They headlined our backyard show when like they didn't have to do that for us.
No, go ahead.
I'm trying to think. What was Andres's band? I'm blanking on it right now.
No,
the other one. Anyway, our friend Andres, our drum kit, he one time was just like, "This thing's a piece of junk. Like, take mine." Like just gave us a spare one because he was like, "You guys would sound so much better if you didn't play out of this
with
kit."
an actual kit. No, there was definitely like a lot of people like that for sure like helped us, and like it definitely did and still does mean a lot that because like little stuff like that is like what makes you want to keep trying. Is when somebody like, you know, like at the Haven or even at other places, like when the sound guy comes up to you and is like, hey, you did a good set, man. I'm like, oh,
especially
good.
after being mean to that's so gratifying. That's so gratifying.
If you can make a sound guy stop being a dick,
there you go.
that's how you know you like played a killer set.
It's like, oh, we won him over.
I was like, thank goodness.
Well, I mean, I think just like being like having somebody in your corner, I just think it like I think it does this. I don't know. I was talking about this with a band yesterday too, and I think it has this like really unique effect where it's like suddenly you're not just doing it for yourself. Like you want to be better for that person. Like you want to find more success for that person. Like I think that's one of the coolest things about being in a band that you really love too. It's like wanting to like be there for your bandmates and like be better for them and like try to like eventually grow and stuff and like, you know, just be the best version of yourself for the sake of the group. Do you guys, I'm curious, do you guys being related, like growing up together, that probably has a big impact in the way you play music together, but were you guys really close growing up, and was music something that always tied you together?
We'd
hang out all the time. That's why I didn't play bass before Ben started playing in the band. I was just like, well, we're hanging out all the time anyway. And like I already tried guitar and it was too hard. And so I was like, we went to Guitar Center and I was like, what's the cheapest bass you guys sell? And I bought that.
Nice.
It was just fun.
I like it too when they sing too. They like, because they have the same kind of like twang and sound, so I love that.
Especially since we were brought up like pretty close together and stuff, like our voices, like you can tell, I guess, that we're family basically when we sing together.
I think like it's funny too, like pronunciation of words sometimes also. Like we'll listen back and I'm like, oh, maybe that sounds funny, but that's just the way that we've always said it. So
Interesting.
I remember I was recording this demo once and and like he wasn't there with me, but I wanted his voice like in the song, so I just like I did like I tweaked some things like it with the effects, and then I just sang a certain way, and then it sounded like him, and I was like oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's so funny, bro. Yeah, because I do think your guys' voices kind of like, now that I think about it, they definitely have some similarities. I bet that's so cool. So you guys are like blood cousins?
Yes.
I bet that's so cool for your parents.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny.
like, oh, dude, like I just can't imagine like my brother's kids like playing in a band together. That's so cool. Like that'd be so sick. I'm sure they're very. Are you guys close to them? Or are they very supportive of the music and stuff?
Oh yeah.
I'm
big
sure
time.
it's super cool for them to watch.
Especially Ben's parents. I don't know how they've put up with us practicing in his garage for the past
God bless.
5 years, but thank you. Like,
No, straight up, they've always been
Dude, I
very
love
big
it.
supporters.
I come from like, I'll practice. It takes me like an hour and like 40 minutes to get to practice to the
Damn,
house.
dude.
And I'll get there, and I still remember every like so often, like I'm pretty like hyper focused, but so every once in a while like I show up and I'm like I feel nice, and I'm like, they sound like, why do you guys fucking sound like this? You guys are like in the middle of nowhere. I always think that like their voice sounds like I don't know, like if it was in like Hawaii and LA.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how'd this happen? We're like in the fucking like Paris. I'm like, what are we doing?
Ben, were you always singing growing up? Like, how was it kind of developing your actual vocal style? Because I mean, your style is pretty unique. It definitely has like a lot of the surf punk isms in it, but I think like you have your own spin on it for sure. Do you feel like it took you a long time to kind of develop how you wanted to sing, and did you go through a lot of different iterations of stuff?
Yeah, no, 100%, and you can tell like especially since I started putting out the music so young, like you can see like my voice changing throughout like the entire thing, and even the way that I pronounce certain things. But yeah, there was a lot of points there where like specifically just going like when like puberty just started, I was always so sad because I was like, oh, I can't fucking sing, what the fuck. and then like my voice would change like every like month, and like it wasn't consistent. But then one day closer to like around 14 when we started like doing the band and stuff, I finally found like I just had to find where like my voice like to sit in like the notes and stuff, like what chords and what sounds like catered to the way that I wanted to sing, like type of thing. And then from there, since we started playing with like a lot of like punks and stuff, like in the punk scene, sometimes I felt like we would try and like make up for the fact that we were kind of like a surfish, like indie-ish band. So I'd try to go a little harder on the vocals, and I'd kind of force the like the rasp and stuff. But as the years have gone on, I've kind of like stopped like pressing it like that, and gone for like a little bit more of a clean thing, but it's still got like, you know, power to it. At least I like to think so.
It definitely does. Yeah, I mean, your voice definitely doesn't sound like just kind of like a normal indie surf type of voice. Like there is a lot of the punk inflection in it. I think like there is a lot of the rasp and like some of the higher notes and stuff, more yelly and things like that. I think it's a really cool mix of influences. What you just said is really interesting though. Like I think it can become very easy to try to cater what you're doing like to your peers.
That's a great point you're making.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah, how do you feel like do you feel you've gotten better with that over the years? Has it gotten harder?
Especially watching, that's to come to the youth thing, because I know eventually you're gonna be old, right? But it's cool to see him grow.
Yeah,
like the Sept song.
No, but it's cool to see him grow and just see his voice, like him just find his own voice, and then like. Because I was over here and I'd be like, it's like, oh, like we're trying so hard to do this because it's what's around us, but that's natural when you're growing up. You're just trying to figure it out. And then naturally he started growing, and then because I'm like, oh, you're like a C+ student here in the surf scene, but I was like, hey, you're an A- A+ pop punk singer if you come over here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Then we start kind of playing in LA, and then naturally like. Thankfully, like Spotify, everything, like you start being like, oh, are we a pop punk band? I didn't even know. And then we start singing, and in his voice, it's like, oh man, Disney Channel.
I forgot. It definitely helps that starting in like 8th grade, I like joined choir and stuff like in school. So I went through that for 8th grade, and then also freshman year. And shout out to my choir teacher, Mr. Baum.
Shout out Mr. Baum.
Yeah, Mr. Baum.
Like B-O-M-B?
B-A-U-M.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Baum. Okay. Baum. Not Baum.
But they taught me how to sing properly without destroying my voice so that I could still sing for a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think with your vocal style, if you didn't know how to do that, it could be very easy to destroy your voice.
Detrimental.
Yeah, 100%. Misa, you keep going back to the pop punk thing. Do you guys feel like that's like the lane that you reside in? Like, do you think a lot about the genre, or do you just kind of like figure out what comes out? Like, how do you kind of think about yourself in terms of the way you label yourself and things like that? Do you think that's instrumental, or do you try to get away from it?
What's fun is like there is like a beauty in finding out kind of like oh cool, I want to play Warped Tour. There is like a thing to have goals, but it's pretty cool to not give a fuck too. Yeah. So I think it's somewhere in the middle, because like not give a fuck too much, you're a douche in front of people. Yeah. But like having goals, people are like kind of like, oh well, you have somewhere you want to go and somewhere you want to be, and like I just hear it because like with the Palm Mutes, and I grew up with all that like Taking Back Sunday, Blink. Yeah. I mean, and just being like, okay, like I hear it, and I hear it in his voice. I'm just like, yo, bro, like you might not even know it, but like you're up here. Yeah. He's doing it because I hear him, and I'm so proud of watching him grow. And then especially with Matt, to throw some love at him, same shit. But I hear it. I hear it going. I hear it, and especially like after like we have an EP coming out, you know. So like after we can show you something, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, it's changing, but it's been a while since our last release, so I think so. But I like to be very goal oriented, but I still like to be like, hey, let's do whatever we want, but let's have a vision and like let's focus. You still want to see the sign when you drive past it. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And I like to, Ben said also, because you were like, you know, things are changing, but Ben has always said like there's still like you can still tell it's Sept. Like it's not like
which
a different band made
thing,
this.
I think.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're evolving, but it's like we're still kind of you can still tell that.
Exactly, like we still keep like, you know, we remember our roots and who we are and stuff, and I think that's an important thing, like because I get that that artists are like, you know, afraid of being like put in a box and stuff, so that way they can't like do whatever it is that they want. But I think it's important to like kind of develop your own like signature like sounds. It doesn't mean you have to invent a whole new genre of music, but just like what kind of makes you like stick out a little bit from everyone else. But also like if it's okay to try like new stuff, like let's say Braces, for instance, like most of our songs aren't Braces. Like
no, it's a lot slower than a lot of your songs.
Yeah, exactly. But it was never a thought for me that I was like, oh, like I'm making a slow song. I was just like, I'm making a song. Yeah. Like, and that's just the approach for like every song, basically. You know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're never going into it, because I think at a certain point, like you go into a song, you're like, I want to make a song that sounds like the Smashing Pumpkins. Like you're not like doing something that is wholly you.
It's like you're not Billy Corgan, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's a good way to put it. Actually, it's like you are Sept, so like your goal should be to sound like Sept. I think it can be really easy sometimes, especially in like band-driven genres, to really tailor your sound to your influences. And not to say that it's bad to have influences. I think every band has influences, whether or not they want to admit it. Absolutely. I just think like figuring out your spin on whatever you're influenced by is a very, very like worthwhile process to go through. I think it just it makes you who you are, you know. Yep. I think it's cool what you just said too, like you know, it's good to be goal oriented. I feel like very often in a lot of genres of music there's this strange like stigma almost around placing like very finite goals on your music. I think some people find that it's like contrary to like artistry to be ambitious, which
like,
I don't.
You gotta be consistent sometimes. I mean,
which I've never quite understood. I think it is really important to be ambitious in this and stuff.
You have to be.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like when you first like began and even like going through now, do you think the way that you look at your relationship with the band has changed? Like, do you think you've gotten to a place now where like you're more goal oriented and you're taking things more seriously and you really care more about this on a professional level? And how has that change kind of been? Like, how has it been to kind of like figure out where Sept fits in your individual lives?
Yeah. Is it cool if I take on this one?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
I like when I first go, I'm kind of like, you know, because there's like a thin line between inspiration and plagiarism. You know what I mean? And you have to love what you love, and you're always gonna be inspired. Sure. You start kind of getting a little late, you're just gonna be somebody else. And with me, as I joined him, it was very goal oriented. What I really love about this band is that as the years passed, like I started being like, oh, I love these people more than like I love making music more than anything. But I started loving them, and then it started being like, oh shit, like this thing's growing, and I was like, okay, cool. So it did change, but in in a cool way where like it's not investment. It's more like, oh, I'm just in love with this. So
Yeah.
that was cool for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like especially the transitioning from like sort of the backyard scene and then to doing more venues and then actively seeking out like opportunities, like, you know, like in going out and talking to other bands and stuff, you know. It's definitely like changed from what it was when like I was like 16 to what it is now, because obviously when I'm 16 I'm like a teenager, I'm you know, I'm in a band, we're playing all these backyard shows, it's like a party to me. Sure. But now now I'm older and really I'm just mainly focused on like trying to be the absolute best version of ourselves that we can be, no matter what. And any time that we play a show, I just want to blow it out of the water every single time.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think like there is a fine line between like the house show and the house party. I know that sounds silly, but like it's a very real thing. And I think sometimes in the early days people can like get very, very obsessed with like the idolization of what it looks like to play in a rock band, and not get very obsessed with what it feels like to play music in general, and like how to find longevity within that. And I think it can be really easy in the early days to just get to a place where like your focus is not on the music and it's somewhere else. And I think you need to always be retailoring yourself to a place where like your 1000% focus is just on the music first and foremost. You were talking about like your voice kind of changing and stuff on the new stuff, and some of it's, you know, kind of being a transition sonically. I was curious, like, is some of the newer stuff, the new project, is it in the same world as Woe Is Me, the last single you guys had? Because that's like one of my favorite songs from you. I think, of course, I think just melodically and songwriting wise, like it's just so fun to me. And I was curious, like, does some of the new stuff kind of cater in that direction, at least in terms of like melody and things like that, or is it kind of is it a big jump from some of the prior stuff?
No, 100% it is. It's definitely in that realm. I like to think that this project is going to kind of be like a bridge, basically. Sure. Which is a bridge kind of between like everything that we've done before and the way that we've been doing it into what it is that we want to start doing from this point on, which is just like transitioning like a little more, leaning into that kind of like that pop punk, like emo-ish, like kind of vibe. Because I don't know. I'm a very big fan of just making sure that a song is like an earworm and that it's like infectious. Like I think every part of your song needs to be like catchy, like, or at least able to like you know, be stuck in your head. Like if I write a song and I wake up the next day or even throughout the entire week and I still have the rhythm in my head, I'm like, okay, this is a good song. Like, you know. So I think with this EP, like we really sat down and tried to make the best version of each of these songs that was possible to make, and it's definitely leaning towards where the direction we want to take artistically as a band and stuff.
And a special shout out to Balboa Recording Studio and Graham from Sad Park and David, our engineer that day. Freaking just, really brought it to life, right? It wasn't it because I enjoyed it, but it's like we're excited for this next phase.
Because like everything that we've put out up until now is all like home demos. I
want to ask about that.
No, everything is recorded like at my house, but this EP is the first thing that like we went out to like a studio and like recorded, and originally I was afraid because like we'd already gone to like a different studio before, and like it wasn't my favorite experience, so I was a little nervous. But then we went here and it was awesome. It was awesome. David is the best. He is the man. And like it's cool because I didn't know that like my songs could like sound as big as he like made them sound, type of thing.
That's got to be surreal.
It is, dude. It's crazy. Like to hear your voice through like in $1,000 microphone. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
shit. I just had the SM57 at home.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's so cool that you guys can bring it to a studio setting. It feels bigger, but it still has that Septism to it. Like I think one of my favorite things about like Sept, just as a sound even, is like how lo-fi everything sounds. And I don't mean lo-fi in a demeaning way. I mean lo-fi in a complimentary way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I think like the dirt on everything is so crucial to the sound of it.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys like? I mean, I'm sure you're gonna keep that because even like Woe Is Me has a lot of that dirt on it in terms of like production, which I love. But was that something that was conscious when you were, because you were producing a lot of the stuff just at home, recording it yourself and stuff? Did you learn to do that all by yourself? Did you have somebody helping you with that? Like how did you kind of learn how to produce, learn how to record, and then when you did so, how did you find your sound? Because the production, it does very much have a very specific sound. A lot of the set music has a lot of that garage lo-fi feel to it. Was that conscious or did that just kind of come?
It just kind of came because what's it called? I have this friend. His name is Ronnie. I've known him since like the 4th grade. So originally that first record I just did on my phone with like an iRig and Bandlab.
On your phone?
Yeah. The first record is all just recorded through a phone.
What? Wait. How? So like you were voice memoing all the instruments?
No. It was so Bandlab is like a DAW, like a digital audio workspace, and it's just like it's free, but it's like super good. And I got this little like thing, and you just like you'd plug it into your phone, and then you plug your guitar right in, and then they had like amps and stuff like inside of the phone, and I just programmed like all the drums and whatnot. And that was the first record.
So you were just like in your bedroom, just like,
oh my god.
We were driving to get food one time.
Yeah.
And I'm driving and Ben's in the back seat and he has his headphones on and he's like tracking MIDI drums.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, are you all right? And he goes, if I hear one more snare drum, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill myself.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Now that first one was difficult because he had to put every drum on a separate track. It couldn't be all in one. So I had to like,
Wait. So you were like recording the hi-hat without a reference track, or you?
No, I'd put the entire drum track together first, so that way because I would already know the song structure.
Yeah.
And then I'd just record over that. But it was just that every single like drum had to have its own separate track that I had to put down the MIDI things like.
You couldn't live record the drums, yeah.
No, exactly, yeah. And then same thing for the rest of the stuff that we've done. It's all MIDI drums, except now it's on Logic Pro instead.
Yeah.
And the way that I transitioned to that was because of my friend Ronnie. He had a setup at his house. And that's how we made Going Gone and Race Car Bed and the Doggy EP. And I was like, I'm just gonna copy this setup. And, and I bought everything. That he had. just the Scarlett like solo USB, some JBL speakers, like a Mac. And that was really it. What's it called?
The latest one is like it's drums. We got our homie to help us do the drums on them.
Nice.
And it was
Is that Tyler?
Yeah, it was Tyler. Yeah.
Shout out Tyler.
Yeah, Mr.
Shout out.
Fries gets some credit, but
When did you guys record it?
over the since a little bit from last September to maybe right before summer started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so it still is
done.
pretty fresh.
Yeah, it's done and it's good.
It's
like I'm happy. I'm really like, oh.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with like how everything turned out. It's super sick, and I can't wait to get it out there.
Have you guys felt as excited about a piece of music before, do you think?
I don't think I've felt as excited about a project.
Yeah.
No, because this one, I'm just very happy.
This is the only time I've ever felt like, oh, if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck.
I love it.
Like, and usually I'm very like, oh, let's just put it out. Like,
yeah.
That's such an important feeling to have, though. I think like the whole like, who cares if someone likes this because I love this.
Yeah.
I think like, and I don't even think this is like a bad business practice. I think it's a good practice. I think like if you can get to the place where it's like you genuinely love something, right, and you're not putting blinders on, you're not like, looking at it through a biased lens. But if you can get to a place where you make something that you're like, I would sit down and listen to this if it wasn't me, I think there is always something to that, and you should chase that till the day you die. I think it's like you there's an audience for it.
Do you
love
make
it.
music too?
I grew up making music. Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's like, 'cause you have a nice voice too.
Thanks,
It's
bro.
like it comes through like different. Through
Thank you, dude. Yeah, I played
like
in a
your
bunch of
voice,
bands growing up and stuff, but I'm a drummer.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, type shit. Did you?
Type shit.
I'm curious too, like, because I mean, like I said, like I think there is so much really cool like lo-fi type garage production in a lot of the original Sept stuff. Like I think both your EPs have that for sure. Bringing that into like a more traditional studio setting, was it difficult to recreate some of that grit, or did you guys feel like some of the sonic tendencies you had transitioned into the studio setting in a good way?
Shout out to David.
Shout out to David. Yeah. We weren't even. I think the thing is, we weren't even like thinking about that. I don't think. Like we weren't like in there, and like we weren't like it needs to be like the same type of deal, I guess, but it just kind of naturally ended up that way because that's just like our style of songwriting and like the way that things came together, and then like just standing there and being like, oh, maybe this guitar track should sound like this, or like this drum, and blah 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 blah. So it definitely does like hold some of that, but it's just like on like a higher level.
Because it's like, I want to hear these pomades, and I was like,
Yeah.
Since I joined the band, I was like, no, it's time.
Yeah.
Like it's time. Let's go to a studio. Let's grow up. Let's figure it out, and then it was cool because I was nervous because like, it would have been like egg on my face if it was like awful.
Sure.
But when it worked out, I was like, like cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think one of my favorite things about the new single, opposed to, well, not opposed to some of the early Sept stuff, but I think lyrically this one, I think the subject matter in it is definitely a bit heavier than some of the previous Sept stuff. I think like it's covering a really cool like lyrical subject matter. I feel like I mean I definitely very much relate to the themes of kind of making yourself like a victim in every single situation and stuff, but that's a pretty like heavy subject matter and a pretty like it's definitely more introspective, I think, than a lot of the Sept writing that came before it. Writing the song and like putting yourself out there in a way that is a bit more vulnerable, was that difficult? Like, did it feel different than some of the previous Sept stuff you've released since the subject matter was a bit heavier?
Yeah, I think like most like Sept songs are usually about like relationships and stuff, but yeah, no, it was.
This one's more about you.
Yeah, it was like definitely a different approach on just like literally as it said, woe is me, kind of like the world like feels like it's coming down, like it's ending and stuff, like and like it's just like it feels like overwhelming, I guess. I don't know. And it's just very easy to be instead of really like sitting there with the issue and trying to like work it out, sometimes it like can be a little too easy to just kind of be like, well, it's not my fault, it's everything else.
It's easy to blame everyone around you. It's hard to look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you don't like what you see.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't say I don't think it was harder. I think another like just like that is just that like it's important to like, of course, make sure that things are like the best version of themselves that they could be, but also if you like try and force it too hard, then it's gonna seem forced, so if it just comes like naturally, then it'll appear that way as well, organically and whatnot.
If you feel it, you just gotta if you love it, you accept the consequences of what happens.
Sure.
Do what you want, see what happens.
But it's real,
no, 100%.
There's repercussions, but it's part of our freedom.
And I think that's how you get across get across those like really like bare emotions and like stuff that people can like really relate to is like how I said, like, you can't force it too hard to be like consciously like I need to make this way. But if you just let it flow and are completely honest with yourself, and especially in your songwriting, then it's gonna touch a lot of people, I think.
I totally agree. I think you should always be chasing a place of vulnerability. I think like the best place you can be as a songwriter is somewhere where you're scared, and I think that to me tends to be the songwriting, the style of songwriting that gets across to people in the most like emotionally vulnerable and most like just real way.
Yeah.
I think like I mean, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I think all of the songs that I relate to the most and love the most are very poignant and specific subject matters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any like songwriters that like have kind of changed the way that you've moved? Well, actually, better way to ask this question: do you think some of the new stuff on the new project, it goes into some more introspective lyrical themes and things like that? And
For sure.
How do you feel like recording that was opposed to recording some of the previous stuff? Because you're right, I think like a lot of the original Sept music is like, you know, it's about like relationships or things of that matter, but it's really interesting to hear you write about you opposed to somebody else. Doing that and recording it around the band or around producers and stuff, was it difficult to be vulnerable like that? I know you said it wasn't to release it, but was it to record it?
No, I don't think so. Cause the songs were already like written.
Yeah.
Like we didn't come up with like anything in the studio except for like extra sounds and like layers like and stuff for, you know, guitars and like random noises and stuff. But it was already written out. So really now at this point it just came down to like recording it and tracking it out. And then just like what was most important to me and what I like prepared for the most was when you record the vocals, because I like it when I hear a song, and I think that's why I'm so drawn to like the pop punk like emo type of thing, is because like when they sing something, like you can tell that they're really like feeling it.
Yes,
you know.
Dude,
and and you have to kind of like, at least for me, it takes a second to kind of get in that space and kind of prepare for that, because you kind of got to bring yourself into that kind of place where the song was written from, like type of thing.
Try to get back in there.
Yeah, exactly. So that way you can sing it the way that you felt when you wrote it, like type of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine that could be difficult, like in terms of performing it and stuff too, especially if you're writing about something that's rather heavy. I would imagine that going to a place where you're like you're almost actively revisiting those emotions every single time you sing the song, which I would imagine is difficult, because it could like bring you to a place where
get numb sometimes.
Like do those emotions feel as raw and as difficult to re-examine when you play it on stage and stuff?
When songs are like newer, but over time songs like they still always are gonna mean like what I wrote them about, but after a while of like playing them and stuff, it starts just becoming more about less about what the song is about, and more just like about how it like brings everyone together, I guess, type of thing. Specifically when performing and whatnot, because you got a bunch of people that know the words and are singing them back to you, and then so it stops being about like oh man, this is what that meant to me, and it really like hurts right now, and it's like, hey, everybody in here is having a good time.
And it might be the first time they've ever heard it too, so like you want to make sure like, because I remember the first time I heard some of the songs, because I got lucky enough to see the band from the outside before I was in it. So with time, it's like it might be someone's first time hearing it, and you want to convey that, because they might be going through something that you might have been going through. That you don't know until later, and someone's like, "Oh man, thank you," and you're like, "Fuck, dude."
That's one of the most
Like, you know what I
powerful
mean?
parts about live music, I think, too, is like it's so much different. Like if I'm looking at you and I relate to like something you're saying in a song, it's so different when I'm in a room watching you sing that to me than it is when I'm with my headphones in my room listening to it alone. And I don't even think that like the live one is like that much more powerful. I just think that it's very different. Like I think some people feel that more when they're by themselves, or opposed to other folks. I think feel it more when like they're in a room watching the person sing it back to them.
No, exactly, and I agree that because when it's being sang to you, or you're the one singing it to people, it becomes like it becomes a shared experience.
And it's real.
Exactly. And it's like, and that's what I mean by like everybody's like singing it and stuff, because everybody in the room must have felt this way before, if they feel this strongly like about the song and whatnot. Versus like when you're by yourself, like that's, you know, when you're listening to the song, or if you're writing the song, then that's kind of where you get a little closer to it by yourself, like type of thing.
It's funny.
100%.
There's this red flag, like it's like if your boyfriend likes Sept or your girlfriend likes Sept, it's like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? There's something there, some therapy in the future. I mean, but no, man, No, it's cool. I'm just having fun. Like it's been a while since someone's like, you're like well thought out and like you ask cool questions.
Oh, thank
It's
you,
been
man.
like a cool minute before like someone's like, usually we're kind of like, all right, well,
I appreciate it,
but
bro.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'm a fan. I
I'm
like your guys'
having
music a
fun.
lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, same.
I'm curious. When if you guys had to identify one, like, what do you think has been the biggest turning point for Sept so far? Like, do you think there was a certain show or a release or a point in your career so far that really kind of defined almost like a new era or something that changed a lot? Like, what do you think the biggest turning point so far for Sept has been?
I think like there's like a thing that we've talked about like amongst ourselves
Uh-huh.
for sure is that like we kind of like, to bring back the Backyard Famous thing, like we felt like we were up here,
Yeah.
and then we kind of like, I don't know if any of those people are still our fans anymore.
Yeah, it's like a whole new group of people.
Yeah,
now.
we got to a point where like, and especially having Misa in the band really helped us, where we were like, we need to start from scratch, and we need
Sure.
to look at ourselves and go, hey, we are restarting. Like we have to earn our way back, because
Yeah.
like
100%.
I think like for me, like the point where I was like, okay, like we kind of got our foot back in the door, like we're kind of doing things again, was when we did the Fox.
Yeah, that was cool.
When
Got our mojo back.
not a phase, was that
Yeah, it's not a phase. Yeah.
down, like you said, our mojo felt back at least.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Especially like, because it's like if you're just kind of fucking around, you can have a fan base for 2-3 years and then they grow. But if you really want it, once those 3 years hit, they decide whether eventually they're gonna come here with their kids or they're gonna get a babysitter and come see you still.
Yeah.
And like you have to be at that 3rd-year mark, being like, hey man, I love making this music. And if you maintain that energy, they'll keep coming, because people give a fuck, and people think a lot of, like, I don't want to speak for other people, but a lot of times people think that other people are just stupid, or like, oh, I'm not smart. It's like, no, everybody, we all wear a mask, we go outside, but like deep down inside, like if you love something, you're gonna go see it and support it. Just the way I still eat the same sandwiches, I eat the same things, I still love the same bands from when I was a kid.
Sure.
So if we stay consistent and we love what we do, then eventually we can grow with our fans, and they can get a babysitter and still see us.
Yeah.
Or eventually we get to see the kids and they're like, what's wrong with these guys? You know what I mean? Like, you think this is cool? You know what I mean?
What's wrong with these guys? No, I do think that's totally true. And I think I keep going back to the Backyard Famous thing. I think it's a really cool way to put it, because like I think a lot of bands will get there and then just stop.
Yeah.
I think
Call it.
Yeah, just call it. Oh, that was fun. We put some outros, whatever. And there's like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that.
100%.
Like there's a
100%.
lot of beauty in just like really, having this as like a fun thing for yourself. That's a beautiful thing, and I don't think anybody should knock that. But I think a lot of bands don't realize what it takes to get to the next level. I think like getting more serious about the shows that you're taking, and not just thinking about them as house parties, and thinking about them as actual opportunities, and they all mean different things, and they are all worth different, and like like being more strategic about who you're playing with and where you're playing and the market and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that is what takes you to the next level, where it's like playing is no longer just, I mean, it's still fun, but it's no longer just fun. Now it's strategic.
It's easy to fill up a house, man. It's hard to sell a $15 ticket. People's like, you better be good. Like, I'm not, I can go watch a movie. You know what I mean?
The strategy is important, I think, too, because we never thought about that. Like, for a while, we were like, oh, cool, we got shows booked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend this month. How fun. But it's like, okay, by the 4th weekend, nobody wants to see us anymore. They saw us the 3 other weeks.
100%.
And those are things that I do think there's a lot of validity in the early days of just saying yes to everything. I think it really teaches you a lot about who you are. It teaches you a lot about like what kind of shows you want to play. What kind of
are
shows.
you made for this? Like, it's like, if you play 2 shows in a row and you're like, I don't feel good, then it's like, you should did the wrong job, yo.
Yeah,
I going to Texas and sweating and then coming home and be like, oh.
There's a lot of validity in the early days to just getting your reps in, I think. Just like figuring it out. Figuring out like how you are as a performer. Just like, I don't know, just like it's learning. It's all learning. I only think it matters when it matters. Like I think you get to a place where eventually, like, obviously the shows mean more, but until you get to that spot, I think it is good to just like get as many reps in as possible and just like find a way to like make this work in any way, shape, or form.
Agreed.
Do you guys think I'm curious, what do you think the hardest part about developing your live set has been? Like, I know you guys have been doing it for a while now. Do you remember a point or a certain show where you're like, oh, now we're comfortable on stage, like now this feels right? And what do you think the most difficult part about developing that live set was for you guys?
the first time that like I finally was like oh, okay, it's like it. Like I guess we did a really good job.
Sure, yeah.
Was we played the Troubadour with the high curbs, and that was
My
the first.
goats.
Yeah.
Shout out to the high curbs.
Shouts out.
Shout out Gangster Penis. I feel like I give a Gangster Penis shout out like one every 3 podcasts.
Good. Well deserved.
It's my goat.
But yeah.
Sorry, I fully cut you off there.
No, you're good.
No, yeah. But at that show, like I really was like, because Misa had always been telling me, and he was just like, you just gotta own it. Like,
Yeah.
like if you go up there and you're like kind of like unsure, like let's say you're trying to get the crowd to do something, but you're not like really commanding it, then they're more than likely not gonna do it. But if you come out there with like that energy of kind of like come on, like let's get this going, like let's split it down the middle. If nobody's moving, you jump down there and you're like, no, like
Make 'em move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that high curb show was like the first time that I was like, oh, okay, like this is what he meant, like type of thing. Like this is how you front man, I guess. And
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and so every time after that, I've just been trying to make sure that we are working with the crowd and having those moments like in Boy Toy where like, we get them down. We practice that stuff like in the practice space where we're like, okay, this is where we're gonna do this here, and this is where we're gonna tell them to split down the middle, and this is where we tell them to get down, and like all these things, like just practicing them and stuff because that's part of the making it worth it like type of thing for that $50 that they spent. It's like make it an experience, make it a show, not just like a live set, but make it a show.
Practice the way you play the way you practice. You mean?
Yeah, make it a show is actually a really good antidote, I think, to how to like sum that up. Like I think it's really important. Is like I mean, like kind of like what you were saying. It's not that hard to fill up a backyard.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking hard to sell 200 tickets for $15. That's a very different experience.
Different.
And I think you're right. You need to make it a show. It can't just be. And I think a lot of frontmen, honestly, bro, like. I think a lot of frontmen will like lose humility in the sense that like they expect or just like they expect people to move just verbatim, like just for better or for worse. Like they're at the show, so they're like they owe me this. Like they really don't owe you shit.
Yeah, if you're not Liam Gallagher, get out of my face.
Yeah, bro. Like I do think you have a due diligence as a band. So, like
facts.
Put on the kind of show that makes somebody want to dance, make somebody want to move. Like I think, dude, I've seen this. I'm sure you guys have seen this a lot because you go to a bunch of shows, but I've seen this so many times where like you ever been watching a band and like the front man or anybody in the band really will get frustrated with the fact the crowd is not moving and the crowd just checks out.
Yeah, they
like
shut
you lose everybody.
As you should.
Yeah,
as you should.
100%.
It's like, hey man, I'm not.
Because they can smell that. They can like
they phone it in,
like Misa said earlier, like kind of like people aren't stupid. Like, like and if vibes are off or like the energy is weird on the stage, people can smell that from like a mile away.
Dude, if you can, you order Starbucks and you can feel like there's a vibe here, and there's like you're like they don't like you. Yeah. You think in a vulnerable setting they're not gonna feel that?
Yeah.
Like come on, man.
It's like this drink tastes different.
Yeah.
It was made with hate, not love.
And then like even when we have like a great set, and I'll feel like, man, rarely do I enjoy like what I do sometimes, but like we go to like me and Bambi go to shows all the time. So sometimes like we see like Lady Gaga and she'd be like boom, and then you're like, hey man, I need to. Or I'll see like my go. I'm a big like I love No Doubt. She's from Anaheim.
Yeah.
And she'd be doing her stuff. And like I see her still doing it and giving it 110, and I'm just like, man, no, like there's always room to grow.
Yeah.
Straight up, straight up.
No, and hyped. And sometimes I think like people like, or at least this was the case for me, is I'd either like get afraid of like doing stuff like that, or like I'd think that it was like corny, or that maybe I was like too cool for it, or like whatever.
Sure.
But it's like nobody's too cool to do anything. Like like it's not a crime to have fun. Like everybody just have fun. Like that's why we're here. That's why like we paid for the show. That's why we practiced for the show. Like that's like is so that everybody could have a good night, go home and be like, I spent my night the correct way. Like I wouldn't take it back.
That is one of my favorite things that Miso will do at shows. When Ben's telling people to get down,
Oh,
Misa's on the side microphone. He's like, "No, you, like you right there.
He'll
You
point,
get down."
he'll point out to the
Call
to the
people
dude
out.
on the wall. He'll be
Yeah.
like, "Hey man, like
You.
you
Yeah.
paid to be
Trust
here."
me, she doesn't like you as much as you think she does.
Yeah.
That is sick, and I think there's something really true about what you just said in terms of the fact that like it's not a crime to have fun. I think,
Yeah.
Yup.
dude, my favorite thing in regards to that is like you guys ever go to a show and the crowd will be very quiet, not moving, and then just one person starts like going crazy,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
everybody
Yeah,
else.
They're
yeah,
waiting for it.
exactly.
They're waiting
Yeah.
for
They
it.
are waiting for it all the
Yeah.
time. Like I've always like in a crowd that's just standing. Like as soon as like it's so funny, bro. You can like I've realized this. You can just decide to be the one person who like starts the pit, and then everything is different after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like clapping at the end of a speech. It just takes one.
Yeah,
Everyone's
exactly,
like,
exactly.
"Okay, I guess you
Yeah.
did good.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
That's super true. What do you guys think that like as you've I'm trying to think of the correct way to ask this question. I guess in terms of the writing process, like over the years, what's been the biggest change to the writing process, if any? Ben, are you writing most of the songs? Has
Yeah.
that like lyrically, you guys all bring songs to the table, or have you always been the person writing the tracks and stuff? And also, like, how do you think you've grown as a songwriter over the years? Like, what have been the biggest things that you've had to tackle in terms of getting better at songwriting?
It was let's see. No, I write like most of and a lot of the stuff, but man, I think just over the years and stuff, like I think you get better at songwriting naturally just as you keep practicing it, the same way that you practice like anything else. If I skateboard for 5 years, and I'm gonna be pretty good at skateboarding, you know.
It's your garden.
Yeah, exactly. But
Sure.
also, I think the thing that makes songwriting cool is that not only, like, of course, do you just get better with practice, but the more experiences that you have in life, and the more, like, you know, the more lore that you add to your story and stuff, and you write about, is what contributes to that growth. And the same way that like I will listen to a song by 15-year-old me, and I'll be like, fuck this and fuck that, and I hate my parents, you know? and then now I'll write a song, and it'll be something different. It'll be like, man, I hate my job. Like, I don't want to go to work. Like, you know, the things you write about change. Like, it just as like life changes, because that's what it does.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I think as a songwriter, you kind of live in this interesting world where like you almost have to like actively seek out experience. But I would imagine you wouldn't want to be like you never want to be living to write songs.
Oh yeah.
But like you kind of need to, like, you kind of have to live to write
I
songs.
write songs to live.
Yeah, I almost said it.
Yeah.
No, but I do think you need to actively be like chasing out those experiences and stuff. Because like if you're not, like, what are you writing about? You're writing about writing other songs and stuff. You know?
Preach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been one thing for me is like there's certain songs like from bands that I'll listen to, and it'll be a song like about like touring, or like about like, you know, like stuff that is exclusively like band related, that only like band people would understand. And like I like it because I'm in a band, so like when they sing about it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. But I for me, like personally, I like to think about just like the regular like individual just like going through life and stuff. And I like to keep it relatable, just for people that are going through hard times, or are just dealing with regular things that all of us deal with.
Yeah.
Right.
How do songs usually come to you? Or are you the kind of writer that has an experience and then will go home and write about it? Or are you the kind of writer who just like will things come to you at random points? Do you sit down intentionally to write songs? Like, how is that process usually like for you? And has that changed over the years?
It's all of the above. Sometimes something bad will happen, and I'll be like, and sometimes I don't know how to exactly like express it, or like maybe I'm not ready to talk about it, but I'm always ready to write something down and like put pen to paper if something does happen. And I think it's very important to feel free to write about these things with no limits, I guess. Like, yeah, like, because, like, you know, I think sometimes people can be scared, like, writing a song about somebody, you know, maybe that's like in their lives and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, they're gonna know this song's about them, or like, you know, like just little, like, anxious, like, thoughts that you might get. But I think it's important to, like, to just write about what you want to write about and write about what you're feeling, because I think that's the real way that you put yourself in a box, is if you won't let yourself feel everything that you want to feel. Like, and
yeah, that's very true. And I think it can be, I think you're right. I think it can be very easy to block out the most personal parts of your life from your songwriting repertoire. Yeah. But I think it's actually the most important that you tap into that part of it. And I'm sure that can be difficult at times, because you're right. There are, like, real life implications that go along with your songs. Like, you're not writing in a vacuum always. Yeah. There is, like, there's you and Sept, but there's also you. Yeah. And, like, there are people in your life that, like, these songs may involve, and that can get very dicey and difficult and hard to navigate, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, but I think it is important to always, like, wear your heart on your sleeve and, like, just be as honest and as forthright as you possibly can be. Have you I'm curious too, like, I know this was the first time you'd gone into the studio and worked with other producers, right? How do you think that took a lot of weight off your shoulders, not having to, like, actively produce a lot of the stuff?
It definitely was cool to have a guy who actually really knew, like, what it was that he was doing. Like, I just kind of did whatever it was that I did, but like, you know, like, this guy is like David, he's fast, man. Like, he's fast. Like, I can't be that fast. Like, like he's clicking stuff and making it perfect and whatnot. And yeah, it's definitely very nice to, like, you know, to have someone else to, like, deal with, like, just little stuff, like, if, like, you know,
the EQ's not right on this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very cool to be able to sit around and then stand up when you're like, actually, you know, we should throw, like, I don't know, a tambourine in right here, or, like, you know, like, you get to focus on exclusively the creative things, like, and what you want to, exactly, like, and like, just random stuff that you think that would make the song cool, while David, he's the wizard, and he's in there, like, making sure that everything is put together properly.
It was the first time we left, and I was like, damn, we don't suck. Like, you know what I mean?
Damn, that's a good way to put that. I think about that with video editing a lot. Like, I remember the point where I got to a place where, like, I wasn't like Premiere Pro wasn't controlling me, I was controlling it.
Let's go.
Like I remember when that kind of became a thing. Like, I think it's a really rare place to get to, like, and I would assume this is akin to your guys' relationship 100%. With an actual producer, but, like, it's really cool to get to a place where, like, you can think of an idea in your head and then actively know how to get there in the software. Yeah, that's so valuable, because then you're working off just the creative, because there's no technical barriers at that point, and I think that keeps you in a place where, like, you're actually putting, like, a big reflection of what you want to put out there and what is in your brain into the world, and you're kind of absent from some of those more technical difficulties and things that, like, keep you from actually expressing, like, the stuff you know you want to say. Like you said, like, it's only about the creative at that point. That's really cool.
No, 100%. It's just awesome.
Damn, I'm really excited to hear the new music, guys.
Dude.
It's got me super hyped to listen to it.
I can't wait for people to hear it.
How you said it's a full EP. I don't know if you want to say this, but how many songs is it?
Oh, it's 5.
Okay, 5 sick. Songs. Hell yeah.
5 sick. Brand new.
Well, I'm very excited to hear it. Thank you guys for sitting down with me. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah,
for having us.
Of course.
Super fun.
Excited for the second.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Incredibly honored to have you guys at Community Service Festival, August 2nd. Fox Theater, Pomona. Tickets on sale now. A little ad. Hell of a lineup. Very excited.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, thanks for sitting down with me, guys, and thank you for playing the festival and doing this. Very excited.
Thank you.
I think last thing I wanted to ask you just before we wrap up.
Yeah.
If you had, like, one message you could express through this upcoming EP, one thing you wanted people to get out of it, what do you think it would be?
We want to go one at a time.
Go ahead, man.
I'll go.
You put in a lot of work.
Man, I don't know if there's two different ways, because there's a message, like, as in, like, band wise, just being like, hey, this is like this is where we're headed, and this is the creative direction that we're looking to approach. And then there's also like the personal like message, which is just like, you know, like there's no one specific like thing that the entire EP is about. It's about different things, and I just hope that people can relate to and find shared experiences in it, and maybe they'll feel a little bit better knowing that other people are going through the same thing that they're going through.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
What do you think
I got nothing. I love this EP.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, I'm really excited to finally get to that place where like, because I've been playing and I love Sept, but it was the first time that I felt like, oh crap, I'm like, this is the next iteration of Sept, like the one that I really think is gonna, like, I think from this EP and on, I think it's gonna be fun to just be like Sept.
Yeah.
I finally feel like I'm actually part of the band, and it feels really, man, I'm really excited. I'm excited. I hope people fuck with it. But it's also cool to finally be like, oh, we just do whatever, like, it's crazy. I don't want to speak for you guys, but like, we just do whatever the fuck we want now. So it's really fun to finally get there. You know what I mean?
That's really cool. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Well, yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a blast. Tell them where they could follow you, where they could find you. You can see them live at the Fox Theater on August 2nd.
That's at the band Sept on everything. That's Instagram. You go to our Spotify. We got Woe Is Me, Feeling Sorry, new song out now. Music video on YouTube.
Massive.
Sept. And
and everything.
That's it.
Hell yeah. Thank you, boys. That was so much fun.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Awesome.
you guys.
Cool.
Music matters.